I'd like to have it. I'm going to take the audio off, and then because I'm going to go. I'd like to give my take on if I've ever done anything to any of these people, or ever had any ill will with any of these people at all.
Well, why don't we do this? I mean, I'll go through a couple of these. Why don't you do it so we're not talking over each other, and then I'll save mine for when we do it on a Rumble or a YouTube.
Okay, and I'm just gonna go if you want to stop me or just, but this is the proof that the haters say that are half of the people. And what are they saying? What are document and proof? There's no description. So let's just see if there's any information of about what they're saying this is. The proof is in the audio.
And everything that they're going to say that I've done, they've all done, either to me or others.
So they're saying the victims of their victims and more to come. Okay, so what is a victim? What is the definition of a victim? A person harmed, injured, or killed as a result of a crime, accident, or other event or action. Well, I don't know how you can consider. You're going to hear me say a lot. I didn't do nothing, but here we go. Privacy invasion. Okay, I've never really called anybody. Doxing, okay, I've been involved in that a little bit, but so have they. Giving addresses. Everybody's done that. I mean, Leanne, there's no difference between your home-based business address and you watch your crazy talking about Jim Terry music and calling there. Never called your house, by the way. Or watch your crazy showing Jim's parents' house. Or what's her name? That Candace Howard doing that.
My sister's house.
Right. Giving addresses, showing their home. This is all things Leanne's trying to say that are like bad things. Showing somebody's home is, if it's your business, is not a problem. If you got a problem with it, tell Google to blur it out. I mean, that's what you need to do. What happened at the home? That's what I'm worried about. Harassing phone calls. I can't remember calling too many people and harassing them, but okay. The rats. The what is it called? I couldn't see what that said. It's fucking done horribly. False striking. She's still going with that. What about copyright infringement? You got a suit against you. Making fun of death. Gallows humor has been around for a long time, last I checked. Making fun of cancer. No difference. Showing family. Something all these haters have done. How about the trespass ban that Fumblenuts has for going to Jim Terry music? I mean, how about going to a family member? Calling family. Hey, if a person wants to do an interview, I don't recall calling anybody's family, but that's okay. Threatening family. I've never threatened anybody. If you feel that I threatened somebody, then my suggestion would be for you to go to law enforcement. Number 1, Betty Hayward. Betty Hayward wanted to leave our show, said she was streaming was leaving streaming altogether. Later on, the reason I don't want to say went after her or responded to her, is because we found out she was selling nudes to people and using the show and the power of the monetary subscribers, specifically men, to sell nudes of herself. And we found out she was a drug addict. I have never called anybody in Betty Hayward's life. Like the next door neighbors or this or that, never called, never spoke to anybody in Betty Hayward's life. Danielle Frakes is a person that she had been around in other communities. I mean, she had fights with people like Doug Hutton and this and that. She came over to ours, gave out content, and she got upset because I went on her show one time because I felt Robbie was damaging her show, was stealing her. She got upset about it. And she made a choice that she was going to go in a different direction. She went in a different direction. Never had a show that was anywhere as highly viewed as that last show that I was ever on hers. In fact, never went in the direction she said she was going on. And by the way, Danny we have documentation from the person, Lacey H., who made this video, of Danny contacting people trying to get false statements to try to set up police reports, which they did, and that was thrown out by cops. I mean, there's more to it, but I'm going fast here. Watcher Crazy. I mean, really, the only person that I've ever doxed information of is I said Watcher Crazy's son's in prison. It's public information. She was a subscriber, not to Jim Terry TV, but on the YouTube stuff, which was Jim Terry, and has been one of the worst haters. And everybody knows about her and what a piece of shit. She was served, said she was going to show up. She did not. She attacked Michelle, spread misinformation. And we've heard all the interviews from her family, what a lowlife she is. She has been served for violent threats. And she's never done anything legally to anybody else. It's a fact. Candace Howard. Candace Howard, I want you to do something because I know that you're using Gronk. Gronk is an AI thing on Twitter where you can ask it any question. If you ask who Candace Howard is and what Gronk is, ask Gronk who Candace Howard is. It'll tell you literally she's the mother of a murderer. Okay? And this is something this is a lady that was calling me a homosexual. She was calling me the FAG word before I was even on streaming. And I've never had any business relationship with her, never spoke to her. Her son literally killed her husband. It's a fact.
And I told her husband, God, I wish we had all these videos. They really did a number striking them down on Rumble. But I wish I had that video where I actually go one-on-one with her husband and tell him that.
Well, I think that's in that original hard drive.
Yeah,
that I gave you. It's the initial rumbles are all in there. Candace Howard, Candace Cooley, never really had any dealings with her. Never had any calling. This is Dylan Rounds' mom. Never spoke to her. I've been in chats. I've given my opinion on the case. I'm not part of the case. I've never called anybody in her family. Never talked to Justin. Really, the only thing close is I spoke to Kurt Wadsworth, but it wasn't really about her. And that was just because I got him on the phone, luckily, one time. I've never done anything to that woman in my life. She knows who I am, though. She shit talks me. Queen Bee, let me tell you this. Queen Bee was the first to try to attempt to dox me. I've never called anybody in her family, never had any dealings with her. I was on Jim's shows 2 or 3 times, and she was making 6-hour videos about me. Subsequently, Jim later on found out she was arrested for selling drugs in a Walmart parking lot. So I never attacked that woman. The videos of that woman attacking us are still out there. And by the way, let's also not forget that Betty Hayward is the one who made the video putting out the information about Queen Bee. Perplex QT, she is the first person ever to call me a homosexual. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm not gay. But to call me a homosexual, call me FAG. And I only ever responded to her, never contacted anybody in her life. I did a parody bit where I went to where she used to work, which is closed down, by the way. It's been closed down for years. Crazy Horse 2, and did a bit with like food stamps and, made fun. And this one, I did make fun of her dead husband. But you know what? You don't call people gay. You don't call people, you don't make fun of that. She did it first. It was a response. There's no question. Good Egg, never had any dealings with her. That has something to do with Jim. Never even really. I know she was.
Good Egg. I'll tell you who Good Egg was. Good Egg was the one that did videos for Queen Bee, about me, and for Sleuth Mom, who was putting out all the misinformation, said I didn't even go to college. I was never a scholarship athlete. She was a school teacher. Subsequently, I talked to her principal, and she stopped everything right there in her tracks once we found out who she was.
I don't know anything about. I remember the name. I've never dealt with her. Never called anybody.
I still have her photos very early on in the Dylan Rounds thing.
Salty Pancakes. It is Salty Pancakes. There was a lot of shit talking back and forth. Let's not forget, Jim. He had a court case on. He was the first ever to have a court case. By the way, Queen Bee, who was mentioned earlier, had a court case on her against somebody who's not even in our community. And Bullhorn Betty, I don't even know what happened with the outcome of that. But Salty Pancakes is probably one of the worst people. He doxed all those people. He was one of the worst. Basically, the only thing I ever did to him is after he read off Jim's social security number on 3 different shows, we got the rights legally from the Orem City Justice Court to be able to legally broadcast his court case, and with all the paperwork, with all the permission, dotted I's, crossed T's, and that ended his channel. It ended his channel. And he was terminated before us for, violent threats and doxing and harassing. This guy is a fucking lowlife. Also a person who spent time in prison.
Convicted felon, and we also had his sister come on the show and say he sexually assaulted her when she was 7.
Confluence is the victim of a retaliation. She's very much like Danielle. She came on a show because Doug Hutton, a guy who I've really never been on his show except for maybe one time I called in, showed her lumpy tits, and she wanted to, because our show was super hot and still is, wanted to be able to have the steam of our show to go after him. Salty rejected her. We rejected her. So what she started doing was putting out misinformation saying, Mr. X gave this information to Jim and this and that, and it doxed my information. Meanwhile, people like Bob have seen her on shows before. That's all been documented over and over again. We have a show on Rumble that's on the banned shows on the OTT where we gave a public cease and desist for this woman to leave us alone. She tried to file a false court case on us. It was thrown out of court. False police report on us. It was thrown out for no credible threat. There's no credible threat. So a police department in her area told her to go fuck herself. That phone call is public and out there as well. Ashley Martin, never really had any dealings with her. She has talked a lot of shit about me over the years. This is another one of the 3 that are part of that Rolling Stone article. The only cover that I ever really did on her is when, if I'm not mistaken, her father tried to run for sheriff's department and came in 3 out of 3 people, had like 600 votes. I've never spoke to her, never dealt with her, never talked really much about her son's case, except that after her son got out of the jail or whatever it was dropped off at a known drug dealer's house and was never seen again. The interesting thing about the 3 women from the Rolling Stone article, Ashley Martin, Candace Howard, and Candace Cooley, 2 of the 3 found their sons, right? Candace Cooley's son, they found him, but he's dead. Tabor Michael, he might as well be dead. They found him because of Jim. He murdered Candace Howard's husband. Ashley Martin on the sign, no finding, owes Jim money. Of the 3, got the least out of her case. Nothing. And there was times where Salty Pancakes, we're going to help them. We're going to find Alex, this and that. And then they were motherfucking them. I've never done a show where I talked about that kid at all. Never talked about that kid. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is more directed towards Jim than me, but I've never dealt with that woman. The mutant Kaylee was the muscle, if you want to call it that. Certainly not the brains. That mutant was behind Salty Pancakes, doxing, giving out social security numbers. If Salty Pancakes is the final boss and the main henchman, I mean, she would be the main henchman behind him. Remember the movie 1989 Batman where you have the Joker and then his main goon on the side is called Bob? She's Bob. She's Bob the goon. And she, and if you guys want to talk about karma or any of this kind of stuff, I don't believe in karma, but if there is karma, this bitch had it because her brain exploded. And if you don't believe me, talk to her mom. Jim interviewed her, not me. I didn't interview her mom. Never spoke to anybody directly in her life, which, by the way, I have a feeling that what's his name's name is Fumblenuts is going to come up very soon. I haven't seen all this, but Fumblenuts wanted he wanted to go after her for us. And we said, no, we could have said yes. Leanne had this audio on her show. She took it down. Marzi girl, I've never really had any issues with her. She was not responding to us. My main issue with her is the fact that she lied about Steve's health situation. She did put out that information, but she's a grifter. There's not a lot of people that we gave her access to tons of people with money. She is by far the person who got the most off of Jim Terry TV, OTT. You guys want to talk about people like Janelle. Janelle's not a fraction compared to what Marzi Girl got. And Marzi Girl got the OTT for free and this and that. And we booted Marzi Girl. Let's not forget about that. We didn't want her around anymore. We're sick of her. Blue Bacon, another guy, we proved him as a liar. He was a private eye. If you look at the beginning of the Jim Terry TV opening, it says lazy eye PI. He's a guy who was a private investigator who did 2 or 3 pieces on Jim, saying Jim was banned from Pinellas County Schools. That information still, I called Pinellas County Schools. Jim subsequently called them. We got the recording of it. They allowed the recording, and they said Jim's not banned. Once we put out that information, they never discussed it again, except for saying that he was banned, and then we would prove him wrong. This guy subsequently disappeared. He was part of this mob troll mafia or whatever that was around for like maybe a month. I never contacted anybody in his life. We heard that he had some issues, like he was a PI for the military police. I know so little about him. I don't even know what his name is, but the guy's a fucking loser. We proved him wrong, and he never had a comeback for it. Doug Hutton was calling me a homosexual, challenged me to a fight. I accepted it. He no-showed. I've only ever had one phone call with the man. The man, I mean, look up Doug Hutton, LA Times. You're going to find out a newspaper article of him shoving a stick in somebody's ass. So another person who was in prison. He made a lot of money because of Jim. I don't recall calling anybody in his family. I think Jim did that, but this is not after he didn't go after me and Jim. And I had no dealings with this man. None. And don't forget about the interview Jim had with his baby mama's parents, where they just said he was a piece of shit. He's off streaming altogether, except for some Instagram things where he's got a bad hair dye. Twin Mama, another person we booted from the OTT. We didn't want anything to do with her. We talked about this where she stuck up for somebody in the chat instead of us.
After we got her monetized, after we built the channel.
After we, and I don't know how long I could go on doing this here, but we'll go through some of these here, but because I don't know how much time we have. But Twin Mama, we built her channel. We brought a lot of people to her. Her channel has since died. When she goes on live now, nobody talks about her. She had a hot channel for maybe 6 months. It wasn't even that hot, but for these kind of people, it was hot. But I have never called anybody in her family. I've never dealt with her. They have done hater shows about, like, I'm talking about just me. When they say they, I've never done anything to this woman. And don't forget, Twin Mama is the one who verified the information of where Fumble Nuts worked. She snitched on all of them many times too. Snooks, I have really no dealings with her, except for she was an OTT member. I think the closest dealing I ever had with her is when I did the Canva of the new neighbor or whatever, or the new landlord. I don't recall me ever calling anybody in her family. She's talked a lot of shit about me. Not as much as some of the other people we've mentioned, but I've never called anybody in her family. Kelly's two-stroke, who is the Sarah Connor lady. Again, I personally never had any issues with her. She is the one who filed one of the first ever police reports on Jim, which they just threw away. This is the lady I called Sarah Connor. She was over on Johnny Yarborough's when we were not. And she straight up said, she's the one who created Fumble Nuts to an extent. She straight up said to Fumble Nuts, you got a lot of goofy shit in your background, domestic violence and this and that. And that's what led Fumble Nuts to leave Johnny's and create his own channel so people like her couldn't say anything. She's been away for a long time. We rarely speak about her. Nobody's looking into her. She involved herself into the Dylan Rounds case, even went out there, went looking with Ty Corbin and was bringing RVs and having cookouts. I don't have a problem with the lady, but, it is what it is. I think she's also a person we booted from the OTT, from the YouTube era. She was never on the OTT. Maria C., I don't even know who the fuck that is. I don't know who that is. I don't
know who it is either.
Crystal Ann and Rob. My last time ever on Crystal Ann's show, I wished him the best, left, never came back. We never had an issue with Rob. Never her husband, Rob. Crystal Ann got in an accident, probably for drunk driving, and then went MIA because she was getting a few bucks before that from Lincoln Kane, which I'm sure they're going to mention him too.
Also one of the people that's tried to start that mass exodus with Leanne back in the day.
Yeah, and I think, and we booted her, if I'm not mistaken.
And came into the community, I think, with Rainbow Melon.
Johnny and PZ are, people have disagreements, and you could say that with Bob, and, it could be water under the bridge,
By the way, almost all these people, somebody over there on that panel has fought with as well.
Johnny and PZ, I don't have any issues with either one. I think the only thing that I've ever really looked into PZ is because I know how that works in California. I mentioned that he was evicted from a place. Really not that bad. I mean, he's talked about it since and talked about stuff in his life that's way worse than that. Johnny's been a big part of our show and what we do for the last 6 months. So any issues that were there were long water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. Laying pipe, a guy who showed up to a grocery store a couple days after I was there, never showed up to anywhere I was at, never showed up when I was in Florida, was shit-talking me, shit-talking my career. I did look up information about this guy, and it was Google reviews where he was looking for check cashing places. He later deleted that information, but this guy was, cruising to get somebody like Betty Hayward. I never really did anything to this guy, except for being involved in a show where he stole. I didn't pull the police report for it. I didn't get the body cam footage for it. And by the way, Eric Foss is the one who told Jim about that. This guy is one of a few people that has been arrested twice. I'm the only person I could really think of that has been arrested twice since we've known him. Jim interviewed his brother, and his brother said he was a fuck up. I mean, it is what it is. This guy was shit talking me and going on hater shows. Don't forget, he was a subscriber on the YouTube era, but we had a falling out with him. We had a falling out with Ruben Sanchez, and that led to problems. But let's not say that he's innocent by any means. He's got a court case coming up for a felony. We're going to see he's guilty. And by the way, him not telling a cop that he had a fucking fentanyl shooter in his thing is way worse than it. To do that to a police officer who's not involved, not in the game, is fucking low. Ruben Sanchez, we just discussed him. He's a lowlife. He's a loser. He's a lech. He's a no-show. He's a fat piece of shit. We talked about his situation where he would trauma dump on people. We booted him a long time ago. Just Blaze, the black lady from Detroit. I went on her show and tried to clear things up. Jim's like, dude, why would you do that? Why would you?
A lot of these people just came over to fuck with us just to get involved and get views.
Right.
I mean, that's
subsequently
60% of
she's gone. I've never contacted anybody in her life. Never did. So that, she's not a victim of mine. I've never done anything to this woman. Public information was disseminated by Jim about her. It is what it is. I couldn't even tell you what her real name is. I don't even know who that is. I've heard of the name, but I couldn't tell you one thing about her.
Yeah, I think I think Lady Snoop is somebody from the Detroit lady, the black ladies thing. She's I almost thought that the lady that you just talked about, who was the black lady?
Just Blaze.
I thought her and Lady Snoop were the same person. I don't even know who Lady Snoop is.
Never had any dealings with her. Don't know anything about her. Miss T, we booted her off the OTT. I'm sorry, I keep saying the YouTube era stuff. She became a hater. She hated Betty Hayward, and Betty Hayward hated her subsequently since then. She made a lot. She's probably number 2 as far as making money off of our show. She was well taken care of, in my opinion, but just didn't have what it takes to be in front of the camera. Everything that I've ever said to her, I've said to her publicly, face to face, as much as you could do it on a show. We rarely talk about her. We didn't do anything to that woman. In fact, I would say that she is probably one of the single people that probably cost us the most money. Like, she cost us people like Lady Luck. There's no question about that. I'm getting a call from Chanel. We're live here on the OTT. We're on Mr. X News Network. What's up?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Are you watching us or no? You're not even on here.
No, I'm not.
What's up? We're live right now.
Just was calling to say hi. How are you doing?
Good. We got everything going. We're right in the middle of a show, though, right now. We only got about 30 minutes before the game starts.
Ask her, whatever happened with that ex of hers that was calling everybody?
Whatever happened to ex of yours that was calling us? We haven't heard anything.
What about him?
Has there been anything new? Has a guy stuck his nose out anywhere?
No, he's fine. He's doing his thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't keep up with him.
Okay, because we haven't heard anything.
How does she not keep up with him? He was coming to her house. Don't they have children together?
Okay, but my daughter's 19, Jim. That doesn't mean we have to like be together.
There you
So
go.
the child, so he's not paying child support or anything. He doesn't come over to see her. You don't go over to his house. None of that.
No. They see each other, but I don't have to be present for her to see her dad.
What about that
I mean?
man? That man that he was talking about? Are you still with him?
Oh yeah, we're still talking.
Is he
Okay.
white?
Well,
Yeah, but
Is
I'll
he-
let you go.
All right,
Go
get
ahead,
out of here.
Is he white?
Yeah. That was Chanel, which another lady we had no issues with. Who a lady who left the show, was a huge contributor, and she's just calling me in the middle of the day just to say hello. You know what I mean? Now I think she's following up about a call that I made to her maybe a week ago, but telling her, giving her some information, but nothing. It has nothing to do with any of this stuff. So again, no issues with Miss T. She's disappeared. Subsequently, her channel's been dead. I mean, Watcher Crazy was giving this lady money for fucking tarot readings. I mean, that tells you how goofy these two are. Diva Puss said a lot of bad shit about me. She's the one who threw down her kid. In fact, when
she slammed a small midget kid on the ground, a half black kid she has with some dirtbag.
She was one of the original moderators on the YouTube era. We booted her too. We booted her from the YouTube era. We wanted nothing to do with her. She was crying when we booted her. We wanted nothing to do with her. She has disappeared, come back, disappeared. We very rarely talk about her. I don't recall calling anybody in her life ever. I used to know what her first name was, but it's been so long. She's kind of been erased from my memory. Never really done anything to her except for respond on shows, which is kind of part of what we do.
By the way, none of these people have done the best they've ever done on any platform, any social media, was when they either had something to do with us or when they were fighting with us. None of these people.
Aphasia lady, Justice for Harmony, is a person who tried to get with Jim first. Jim blew her off, wasn't interested. She became a hater on salty pancakes. This is Aphasia lady. Her husband subsequently offered to fight Jim. Jim accepted. He got in a car accident. I know that she runs around and says that I called some police department. I've actually never did that. I just said that. Never called any police department.
She contacted the arena football team, the league, and the arena that I was playing at while I was there and told them I was a pedophile. Subsequently sent them an email. I mean, this goes on for there's 100 people here, Mr. X. I mean, you're only, I don't know how far you want to go.
Yeah, I got about 20 minutes here, 25 minutes, so we can jump through some of these. But, Justice for Harmony, as far as that goes, the only thing that I ever really did to her, if she wants to, I felt that her husband being in an accident was fraud. So it was reported to one of those, what's it called, where they try to grift for money?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. So it was reported to GoFundMe and shut down. Was I involved in that? Yeah. But this is after this woman went after me for fucking couple years on salty pancakes. Never a part of Jim Terry TV, never a subscriber of the OTT, never gave us $1, a hater from day one. Because Jim didn't want anything to do with her, and listen to her fucking goofy backstory about what she thinks of Dylan Rounds. Banshee Hunter.
I don't even know who that is.
It sounds familiar. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I've seen the name. I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Don't know who that is.
Just somebody who would add their name to a list.
Christine Fortunato. Christine Fortunato was on the show Friday. And another person who's gotten a lot of gifts and a lot of rub because of Jim Terry TV, she was terminated on her own, having nothing to do with us. There's no issue there. There's no issue. She was literally on the show the last time we had a show, she was on it in a big part of it. HGT Donnie, didn't even know who this guy was until recently. Never really spoke about him or anything. Never knew this guy existed until he came out and says, I'm HGT Dana's husband. Never knew he existed. So to add him to the list, never contacted anybody in his family. I've never talked about their dead kid. I've referenced it like there is a dead kid, never made fun of it, never done a bit about it. It is what it is. I don't know anything about this fucking guy except for he repeats the same things over and over again. He's been with her for 30 years. She's a strong woman, yada, yada. HGT Dana. She was found out as a hater, went nuts. You guys know the story. She's been proven as a liar. There's a lot of problems with her. I think it's interesting to put PZ and Johnny as one, but HGT Dana and HGT Donnie are two. They're married. I mean, I don't think Donnie and PZ and Johnny are married, but and they had some other people that were like listed as a couple. Why are these two people spread out? She's been documented a liar by me. She's a clear liar. I've never had an ill will word to her or anything about her until she started shit talking me recently. And she was on the OTT for years, never had any issues. In fact, she sent me more cash apps than Jim. Always cool with her, always responded to her emails. No problem with her. She was caught being potentially a hater and a mole, and she couldn't handle it. She was booted. Leanne we have a current lawsuit on Leanne for copyright infringement. Leanne is Leanne. She has been known as a lowlife, a loser. Bob booted her as well. We booted her from the OTT when 2 Decembers ago when she tried to get people off of it.
She's run out of Angel Gotti's.
Run out of Angel Gotti's, run out of pretty much everywhere, has fought with everybody, Fumble Nuts, Watcher, Crazy. All that information is gone. There is a current open lawsuit. You can call it a claim. You can call it whatever you want for her copyright for infringement and theft. Charlie sending love, again, just somebody who popped up from that Just Blaze community, started shit talking us. Jim did a deep dive. She has some of the most disgusting stuff in her family, including and I wasn't involved in any of those calls. I had nothing to do with CPS. I don't know if Jim did or didn't. I never called anybody in her family. I never called, any of those interviews.
Well, it was the truancy officer in their town that called CPS on the family and subsequently the sheriff's department and her boyfriend. I mean, the stuff he was doing online was just
a 17-year-old kid who's never been in school that's handicapped. Her boyfriend doing weird gay stuff, selling his ass to black men, which I guess is his right to do on Reddit. They deleted it, Jayla Snow. So this woman struck first. Jim responded. I helped produce the shows, but I've never contacted anybody in her family. Does it sound all familiar? Kathy Waters. I think she was just booted from the OTT.
Yeah, she's just a fucking hater. I mean, she just has never liked us. I mean, maybe at the very beginning there was some stuff with the Dylan Round.
Maybe not OTT, but like the YouTube era, like she was over
just
here.
A hater.
I couldn't tell you one thing about her because it's been so long. Crazy Brat, a Mormon woman who was big part of Salty Pancakes. Again, never contacted anybody in her family. She subsequently disliked me because of Jim. Her daughter is Snooks. I'm gonna have a feeling that's going to be the next one.
No, her daughter's not Snooks. Her daughter is Cluckers.
Cluckers, sorry. Shows how much I know. Never had an issue with her. It is what it is. There's Cluckers there. There's her daughter. Going to Cut and Shoot. Cut and Shoot was a hater on Salty Pancakes. A complete loser. Let's just go through some of these. I'm not going to get into. I'll just say why they're moving, and I'm going to speed it up. And if there's one that's egregious, I mean, I'm saying the same things over and over again. I'll stop it if I actually did something. Let's do it the opposite way. Never did anything to him. Was always nice to Dale and Laura C. Bob Farrell and us had a fallout, but everything's cool. There's no issues between us and Bob. Girl Ryan has been a continuous hater of mine. All I've asked is why is she spending the time doing that? A complete liar, caught stealing the OTT. Exposed as a liar. She would attack BJ for no reasons. She's got a lot of real mental issues, lives with her mom. Joy Perry, we booted off the OTT. Sancho threatened to fight me. We used a lot of alt. He never showed up in over a year. Kiri, we had no issue with. Blonde chick, real nice lady. She eventually left because she didn't like the hating. Didn't like the fighting. I've never had an ill will word with that woman in my life. Lacey H, two-faced, burned the book, known as a liar, family's a drug addict, complete loser. Angela, the co-defendant, I'm assuming, never had any dealings with her in my life. Don't know anything about her. Maureen, who is that girl? That's another Angel Gotti person. Never had any dealings with her. Fumble and Ambi, one of the A1, maybe one or two, top 3 haters of all time. Yes, I have vehemently defended myself against this guy. There's no question about that. But the impetus of the starting of this came from him. He knew who we were before we knew who he was. I was the first person, and this is one of the, we're at number 49, and here's going to be a first one. I was the one to dox Fumble Nuts. I doxed him. I did it on Jim Terry TV, Rumble Chapter 1. I exposed who he was. This is after he went into Jim Terry Music. This is after he started harassing and threatening, and even wanted to threaten other people. He's a coward. He's obviously a no-show in Florida. He is, I would say Salty Pancakes is number 1. I don't know if Watcher Crazy or him are number 2 or 3, but those are the top 3 haters of all time, in my opinion. But somebody who has lost over and over again to us. Roddy Parade. Roddy Parade never had an issue with her. No, I don't know what happened to her. Just one day she was gone. Never had any dealings with her. Rhonda and her child. We discussed Rhonda Hauser and her child. Rhonda discussed her child. Rhonda left one day, started shit talking us. We responded. And all I said is somebody who's got a child who's missing their face should not be talking about somebody who else is if they have a sunburn on their face or something, or somebody's chin or whatever. So that's the only thing. Never made fun of the kid. Never made a joke about the kid ever. I gave a public service announcement. As a mother, I think that's a bad idea. American Honey, another Salty Pancakes person, never really had any dealings with her. Sleeper Cell Jen, one of the biggest trolls we exposed who he was. We vehemently defended ourselves. This guy made up Twitters and fake handles and all kinds of stuff against us. He has subsequently gone away. He was arrested for spitting on a white woman. By the way,
many of these people attacked other people. This guy attacked everybody over there, fought with even our haters, fought with everybody, fought with Bob. It's not like it was the only enemies these people have ever had or issues they've had have been with us. They've had issues with many other people.
And he would go on to say things like, I didn't graduate from college. So I mean, this is another guy, one of the very few instances, this is why I stopped it, where I called up his college, proved he never went there, showed the college degree, called up St. Leo, got documentation, proved him wrong over and over again, and he went away. He's a guy who lives on an Indian reservation in Oklahoma. He's another loser, a gay man who's a Republican of all things, go figure. But just a conspiracy theorist, a liar that we've caught in many times, and probably somebody who's fought with everybody at one point. Just an internet troll. Real Deal threatened to fight me. I accepted. I never really had a cross word with him. And since the situation and that happened, he has subsequently apologized to Angel. And my retaliation was, I'll never go back to Angels. I'll go to the chat and say hello to our people. I've never been on her show since. I didn't know the guy was fucking a senior citizen. Let's not forget he threatened me first. I accepted. He threatened anytime, any place. I accepted. He didn't show up. Edna, never had a problem with her, ever. Ever, ever, ever. By the way, I donated money to her headstone, and none of these people who are posting these videos sent anything to her. Just the way it is. Never had a problem with Edna whatsoever. Bambi, I don't even know who that is.
Bambi is the lady that HGT called me about to go after. She was the one where we got her stepdad on the phone and her daughter, and she was in Illinois, and she was showing up at people's house. She was like, she had lied about a rape and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one instance one day that I don't even remember. Lefty, a hater who started shit-talking me. I've never had any dealings with him. He's a guy from Angel Gotti's group. Since I haven't been on Angel Gotti's show in 3 weeks, these people aren't talking about me anymore. They're not putting anything about me anymore. I don't know anything about this guy except that he came from Angel Gotti's group. He started on me because I was on Angel Gotti's show. I've never done anything to this man. I don't even know who that is. I'm assuming somebody from Angel Gotti's group. I don't know.
Stand-up guy is Michael Saccio.
Oh, Okay, well, here's a guy. I don't even know that was his screen name. A guy who shit talked me. Said that if I was ever in New York, that he would try to make sure that I didn't work. I tell you what, Michael Saccio, at some point, I will do some type of movie or TV show. If my buddy's coordinating SVU, I will go on SVU, and after the day's done, I'm going to ask where your nephew is. If I ever work in New York and I got an open invitation. If I ever in New York City, a buddy of mine says, I'll get you on a show, and I'm going to see if he can get me on SVU. Just because I don't even care. I've done stunt jobs, Jim, before where like I work it and I get paid the day rate and I never do anything. Like you never even walk on set. I'm going to try to get on SVU at some point when I'm in New York, if that show's still around. I like the show a lot. This guy shit talked me, done voodoo dolls and this and that. Another Angel Gotti guy, never done anything to this guy in my life to deserve to be shit talked by this guy. How is this is the question you need to ask yourself. How is Michael Saccio a victim of Mr. X? He's not. Sleuth Mom from the Dylan Rounds case, somebody Jim had a dealing with. I never had any dealings with her. Never did anything to her. Arkansas. Well, now she was the first ever super sticker, was a moderator. There was some going back and forth and this and that, but a person that was using Jim Terry TV in a more hardcore way than Betty Hayward, literally going around whoring herself around the country to make money off of stealing from our audience, using it as an ATM. I tried to put this woman in a hotel room when there was a tornado at one point. I was going to pay for it. So there's a lot of water under the bridge there. I haven't talked about her in a long time, but I'm just glad she's not involved in anything that we do anymore. She's a lowlife. Ranger, never had any ill will with him. The only thing I ever asked this guy, this is another Salty Pancakes co-host, like Cut and Shoot. I said to him, have you ever served in the military? Can you prove it? What's a DDS 224 or something like that? Can you prove? And he said no. Salty Pancakes is the one who doxed him and ruined him. And then he subsequently came out as gay, and Jim thought it was hilarious. FBS, I've heard this name. Every time I hear this name, this is another Angel Gotti person. Every time I hear this, I always think about college football, like Division I, FBS Division I. I don't know anything about him except I've never had a word about him. I've never discussed him. I don't know anything about him. He's not a victim of mine. I've never done anything to this man. They're really stretching here. Nils, never had an ill will word with Nils. The only time I ever had anything with Nils, this is the guy, the Viking guy, when he put out misinformation about Jim and I proved him wrong and he apologized to me. Even the last dealings ever with him and his wife, I've never said anything bad about him. And even the stuff Jim would have said about him, how is he a victim? We booted him from our community. We wanted nothing to do with him, even though I don't think he was ever even actually over here. He was trying to, basically what Crystal Ann and HGT Dana are doing, he tried to do that with his wife. He wanted to be a host. It failed. He disappeared. Raditha, a person that left the OTT, she had some issue with her account where she owed us 2 or 3 months. We told her we'll let it go. We've never done anything to this woman. I've never done anything to this woman. The only time I've ever had a phone call with her was to tell her, hey, you owe us money for a couple months. She offered to give us a credit card over the phone. We said, no. Don't worry about it. We're good to go. She's subsequently been a hater. I've never contacted anybody in her family. Stiffy got a lot of stuff in Jim Terry TV YouTube era. A lot of money was raised because of that woman and her husband or boyfriend that was deported. She said we were involved in him being deported. That's a lie. She admitted it was a lie. She's a drug addict. She's a person who's been arrested for drugs.
By the way, we saved her grandchildren's Christmas when we had her shave her head and do all kind of sick shit at her house. Her grandkids were able to have a Christmas. She got pissed because we found out she was a drug dealer on bond.
Farmer Fred, no real dealings with him.
I never really had an issue with him. I thought he was creepy as fuck. He wanted to come up on panels. He started getting too comfortable with me and saying little quips, and then I asked him about his teeth, and he never came back.
No, I never had any dealings with him. Marissa, last time I ever spoke to her, I was in Las Vegas, spoke to her on Belle V shows.
I was, last time I ever had any dealings with her, I told her Bellevue was dead on her show, trolled the fuck out of her. Take that.
Yeah, I mean, and that, what is that being a victim of a harmless prank? I've never had, in fact, I like Marissa, never had any issues with her. Lincoln Kane tried to poach people off our show, was a big contributor at one point. But it's just, I mean, if there's anybody who is a drunk, this guy is the biggest drunk I've ever seen ever online. I'm surprised he's not dead, but he's no victim of ours. The only victim was the person that was in his Ferrari. He lives in Australia. How could I call anybody with him? People disseminated information about his past.
Sexually assaulted his girlfriend twice.
Sexually assaulted his girlfriend twice. We did play that on the show. We've discussed that. We obviously took out, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. So, and then again, I've never looked into this guy. I mean, it's this reoccurring theme. Who is, I know that name, but I think that was like an alt hater name for a while. I don't even know. Certainly never a victim.
Whatever now goes by Twisted Tea. That was the lady that was doing the videos for Salty Pancakes where it looked like a guy in drag. Later found out she won a lotto ticket or lotto numbers years and years ago, lived in Massachusetts. She disappeared after it was found out who she was for about 7 months. And then she came back. Yeah, she goes by the name Twisted Tea. She was originally whatever.
My question again, simple. How is she a victim of mine? Ellen Berg. I've had some ups and downs with her. Same thing with Wyatt Earp. I've never really had an issue with Wyatt Earp on any show or Ellen Berg, except for one time Ellen Berg and I got into it. But there is a lot of shady shit with Ellen Berg when it comes to the Dylan Rounds case. Wyatt Earp is an Angel Gotti person and also a Jesse Roth. There's some shady stuff. Never contacted anybody in any person in any of those people's families' lives. Parasite Slayer is a hater who has only ever talked about me from Angel Gotti's. I've never looked into him. I don't know anything about him. He started on me. Same thing with that mob rat hunter who was subsequently banned from YouTube for attacking me. I've never done anything to this man first except for go on Angel Gotti's show. Crime and Justice, another Salty Pancakes lowlife who doesn't even want to be a part of this list. Zav Girl, I've never had any experience with her whatsoever. When Jim was dealing with her, I wasn't even on YouTube with Jim at that point. Repo Man, last time we talked to him, we were cool with him. There was some anger and some shit going on at the beginning, but towards the end, he agreed with us. And he was the one who put out the Betty Hayward nude photo and gave us the full detail of what was going on. He left YouTube. He was on the OTT for a while. He just moved on with his life. There's no issue there. Eric Foss, well, it is what it is. He's a guy who got arrested. I did find out live real time. I will admit this, that I found out live real time that he was arrested. I wasn't involved in pulling the information about him as far as his arrest. Getting the police cam footage, but I certainly wanted to produce the show. This is a guy who's gone after us, but he looked up to us. We booted him from the OTT. He's a guy who's also been in prison for 10, 20 years for selling drugs. Not somebody I'm very fond of. Pencil artist. She was a hater early on when she had the issues with Danielle and all that. She's from New Zealand. I was very cool with her. Very nice to her until she had a new place to go and subsequently made up with those people, that place being Leanne's. Never had an issue with her. I heard the name IQU2. I don't even know who that is. I can't tell you anything I've ever done to victimize this person. Shelly Ray, the singer lady down in Florida. She's done shit about me. I've never done anything to her, ever. Homegrown Cowboy, I've been on shows with him. Never had an issue with him. Always been cool with him. He was an OTT member for a long time. He left on his own when he got scared. We tried to help him. No issue there. Never done anything to that man. MacGyver, don't even know who that is, except unless you're Richard Dean Anderson. I don't know who the fuck that is. Ty
MacGyver
Corbin
was the guy that I screamed at for 40, 50 minutes. He was saying that he had a football career and he got a trophy in 3rd grade. He was one of Homegrown Cowboys guys over. We believe he was sent to fuck with me. Subsequently, I got his brother on the phone. His brother said that he was currently suing him, that he tried to sue his brother for saying he was injured at work. Remember him? He was like an old guy. He lived in Tennessee. He was one of Homegrown Cowboys people over there. And we ended up having a phone call with his family, and they totally shit on him.
So Ty Corbin is a person I've never, ever had an issue with. Ever had an issue with. There was a prank with Ty Corbin and a death of the Wadsworth's mom and all that, which I was not part of.
Bob made a post on somebody's deal.
I was not part of. I wouldn't be shocked if I could call up Ty Corbin right now and say, Ty Corbin, they're saying that you're a victim of me. Do you feel you're a victim of me? And he would start laughing. I'm not. I mean, I could do it, but I'm not going to waste the time.
By the way, also the one that said he had seen sex videos with Betty Hayward in Arizona Traveler, and that Arizona Traveler was sending meth through the mail to Betty Hayward. So, I mean, he said way worse about. They had bigger issues with him than we did.
And Ty Corbin, as far as I know, he was on my show. Has no problem with me. He's got a problem with Jim, but. I could like I said, probably call him right now. He would laugh saying he's a victim of me. By the way, he fought with Salty Pancakes. He tried to. He drove 2 hours to show up where Salty Pancakes was in Salty Pancakes town.
He had a restraining order on him from Salty Pancakes.
Yeah, I would say that those two are victims of each other a lot more than anything I've ever had to do with this man. I've had no problem. In fact, when he was in Las Vegas, I was going to put him up in a hotel room because he couldn't afford it. So. He ended up subsequently leaving early. He was going to give me that GoPro. No, Ty Corbin's always been cool to me. I have no issue with him whatsoever. Proud Mimi, I think a former member. I couldn't tell you much about her. Certainly never had an issue with her. Outlaw Video TV, man. We just were, he was
supposed to have a band on a live show. He was the original Johnny Yarborough. He was a post-show. He did shows after our show. If we had 700 people, he'd get 160. That's when I had the YouTube show that was doing like 1,200, 500 on a bad night. They would all go to him afterwards. He would come up. He was a musician. He obviously just wanted his music played. I gave him a shot. He was supposed to do Rainbow in the Dark with his band, and nobody showed up again but him. And he said he would do the song Rainbow in the Dark on a keyboard. We booted him, and that was it. He never
no victimization, nothing, this and that. Never had an ill will with him, word with him. Talked to him since, if you want to call it anything, you call it creative differences. He couldn't bring anything creatively. We moved on. And by the way, his show
somebody
was never
who was only benefiting from us, too.
Right. It was a one-way street. It was like, hey, you hear all these people saying like, oh, I loved going on Johnny Carson or I loved going on Howard Stern. Now Howard Stern only does A-list celebrities. And it's like like a Steve-O was saying that about Howard Stern. Like, oh, I used to love going on his show. Well, Stern doesn't really, you've kind of done your act over there. How many more times can you hurt yourself? What more can you do that's new or entertaining? Plus he's not doing that anymore. He's moved on. So don't
Thank
take
you,
it personal.
Texas Granny, coming in $10. Thank you, Texas Granny.
Yeah, don't take it personal. I mean, nobody's ever done anything to that man. Nobody's ever looked him. I've never looked him up. So to say somebody's a victim of something, you got to really prove that. By the way, I also want to say thank you to Texas Granny and $10 on the PayPal, and then Jesse Roth. We're going to be done here in about 15 minutes. We got about 15 of these left.
I opened up a ticket with the robocall. I probably will not hear from them until tomorrow morning, so there will not be any robocalls till tomorrow. Tomorrow's show is scheduled for what time, Mr. X?
I probably just put it at like a generic time. It is.
Yeah, let's do it. We're doing it at 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow.
I have it at 6 p.m.
Yeah, I'll do it at 1 o'clock if you could be there. If not, I've got something very important to do tomorrow afternoon with
1
the show.
p.m. I'll change it.
Okay.
I'll change it when we get done here. Let's just kind of skip through these, as we're doing Toe Jam, a rapist, a guy who sent us a lot of money in the YouTube era. Later on, he just kind of disappeared for a long time. Loved us.
Yeah, the guy turned out to be a fucking stone cold rapist. He spent years in prison for sexual assault of a woman. But yeah,
and we're the people victimizing people.
And he was a big financial contributor that we parted ways with because of that. 2 minutes.
2 minutes for what?
Kickoff.
Oh, I thought it starts at 5:15. Cowgirl Sally, I don't even know who that is. Norse Code, Jim. The
there's
original.
2 Norse codes. The original, and I'll go over this. I got my own things on these people. The Norse code now is Candace Howard. The Norse code back then was a school teacher that was using her school time as a in Seattle. She just didn't like the way I talk. Left wing lesbian that did not like the things that were going on. Took it upon herself. We were able to figure out who she was. I called her school, and they almost fired her. And she took all of her channels down, disappeared, and then subsequently a new Norse code popped up, and it was Candace Howard.
Again, not a victim of mine, never dealt with anything. She struck first. Jim responded. I'm getting blamed. Buster Branimus did not. He kind of went with Ty Corbin. I have never had an ill will word with this guy.
He's a married guy with kids. He didn't really ever want to be part of the program. He fought with a lot of people too. One of the few people that's still on Fumble Nuts. He had a lot of behind the scenes communication with a lady named JD Jenny, who I can't believe is not on this list. He's married. We found out that him and her had some sort of an online little affair. I don't know if she was soaking him for money or he was just getting a hard on and was able to fuck his wife for talking to her. But yeah, he's a douchebag.
Never had an issue with him. Just Observing is one of the biggest whack jobs that are out there. Just Observing had some kind of dealings with Jim. She's gone after everybody. She's fought with everybody. Nobody takes her seriously.
Children.
Kidnapped her own kids, if that's even possible. Just a fucking loser. All the information out there on what is her name? It's just out there. You guys know what it is. I've never done it. This woman's victimized me, if that's possible, way more than anything I've ever. I don't think I've ever looked into anything for her that wasn't already public. Big Ups was a part of the show. We gave him free membership.
I met him in person. I could call him right now. He was on our show 3 weeks ago.
I don't think there's a problem there. He might have more of a problem with me than Jim, because I said on a show one time that you probably don't want homeless people being your channel moderators. But I don't have an issue with the guy. I've never done anything to him. Feisty redhead.
That's the lady that lived with him.
Oh, no problem there.
How is she a fucking victim? What the fuck?
Victim of what? No problem there whatsoever.
Name 10 people that aren't even on this list that could replace her. That's weird.
Kenny Hines. Now there was some going back and forth, but don't forget, Kenny Hines during the YouTube era was the biggest troll in the comments, and is the reason I don't do comments now. He would probably send a message: "Did Jim Terry play for the Denver Broncos?" This over and over and over and over again. And later on, we found out he was a douchebag. He ended up going and hooking up with Emma. They lied about being married. But he challenged another guy
his aunt, and all them contacted me and were on the show. His sister-in-law, his brother.
Explained his entire thing. Another guy who wanted to fight, I invited him to show up at a convention. He no-showed. It's just, and he's one I don't even talk about. Never
and
looked into his
recently, a
past.
Picture surfaced with Kenny Hines where he looked like he was about 270 pounds, very unhealthy, alcoholic. I believe he's a felon too.
Emma is another one. See, they're really stretching these out. I guess they could put those two together. Never looked into Emma. Actually, people looked into Emma for us, and we just reported it. I like Emma.
She tried to kill a 2-year-old or something. Fuck.
Right. She was a longtime subscriber, a big contributor to us. Eventually started getting involved with Kenny Hines, and things kind of fell apart. Another person that they tried to pull away from us, and they actually ended up doing it. But I always liked Emma before I knew about the stuff with the children. But, a person who's a former heroin addict, like these are not, none of these are really high. We haven't said any of these people are like, this is a pilot like Tennessee Gambler. I think like the highest level person that they could probably claim out of this list so far is like Buster Branimus. Like that's like the top of their bar so far of their list. Georgia Peach, I know was involved in our show. I couldn't tell you one fucking thing about this lady.
We bought her grandfather dinner. We were very nice to her.
No, that's Georgia Girl.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I
Georgia
don't know what
Peach is
Georgia
somebody
Peach is
else.
from.
This is probably one of the people which this is good to note this, that Leanne probably got to get away from us. I've never had an issue with this woman. De-Icer Dave, another guy I had no issue with, was around a lot
I've
during
never
the
had an
YouTube
issue
era.
with him. He just started not to like the show. He came on, did the show. He used to do little songs and stuff. I don't know why. There was no fight with him, no nothing.
No fight, no looking into him. We did, you know what? Actually, now I think we did look into it because we're like, whatever happened to him? Whatever happened to him? Because we genuinely liked him. But there was
I
nothing
think he
ill.
came back like for one show. He was in the chat for like 20 minutes and then disappeared again.
Lady Luck.
Let's not forget a lot of these people. Also, part of the reason they left is because the haters were coming after him too.
Lady Luck, a huge contributor during the YouTube era, got pissed off about Miss T. I tried to play middleman, tried to save it. Later on, became a hater. Another person who tried to do a show. She's from Australia and just failed miserably. Tons of money, bad teeth.
Robbed Johnny.
Rob fucked over Johnny. Yeah, she made a victim out of Johnny. I've never done anything to this woman. In fact, I got the emails trying to smooth everything over with this woman. Never did anything to her. Almost done. Nicolina, I tell you what, Nicolina is the first person ever to steal the OTT. She stole the OTT along with that lady, and it was one of the very few times, the only time, where I took some of the information that we have on the OTT to protect ourselves from fraud, and I had to turn it in. I had to turn it into her credit, she has a, what's it called, a credit bureau or credit union. She stole the show just flippantly and was making money off it. We booted her from the OTT. And after we were a victim of hers, and she was a fucking problem before that. She was somebody who was looking to get into a fight with us because Jim was friendly with a lady named Lips, which is also a low life. But and after that issue, I tell you what, if I knew about the Copyright Claims Board then, I'd have gone after her in a fucking heartbeat. If I knew of it, but I didn't know how to do it. But she was her violation that she did is way worse than Leanne's. Like way, way worse. It's not even close. And by the way, I never did anything to her. She would just go online, sing, and do this. Another person who subsequently disappeared. Mob Rat Hunter has a channel that was known for shit talking me because I was on Angel Gotti's show. I got his channel terminated. YouTube sided with me, terminated his channel. He's come back. I don't know anything about this man. My only dealing with him was replying to videos that he did about me. I got him terminated. He's a band creator because of the hate videos that he did on me first. I would not know who he was. And I would not have had this guy as a hater. I sound like Angel if it wasn't for me going on Angel Gotti's show. Last one. Heidi Black. I don't even know who the fuck that is.
That's that black English chick from Angel Gotti who just didn't like the fact that we were.
I've never had a problem with her. Don't know anything about her. Can't tell you anything about her. So, I mean, I would say of the people that are in there, of the 100, that there's probably maybe 3 that I've looked into, and it's like very well documented. But other than that, I'd say like it seems like 90% of them I've never looked into anything or was never a victim of them or me or any of that bullshit. It's just all bullshit, Jim. So we got the kickoff coming up here. It's coming up real soon if it hasn't happened already.